Hi everyone, Kimberly Mackey here with New Home Solutions, and I am coming to you today because we did some questions and did a little poll on Facebook, and a bunch of you asked me some questions. So I'm going to start a new series and try to answer a lot of those questions because they were really fantastic. If you do have more questions, you can email us at info@newhomesolutions.com, and we'll be happy to feature your questions on here as well. So that can be for either myself or for Kathy Tucker. But today I want to talk to you about creating urgency with the downsizing buyer. The downsizing buyer is a little bit different, so we have to treat them a little more different. They do not have to move usually. This is usually a choice to move. So in order to be able to help this buyer the most effectively, you have to understand the why. And you have to understand the why with every buyer, but particularly with this buyer, it's important that you get to those pain points and you understand what they are going to gain when they move. So what do I mean by that? Well, the pain points are where they are currently living. What is causing them pain? Could it be that the home is just, older perhaps, and now it's time to do all the maintenance, replace the roof, the yard is too big and just requires way too much work. It's things are starting to break and fall apart, and it's becoming that constant source of pain for them to have to take care of it. It could just be that it's just too big. Maybe now they are empty nesters and it's just so much room for them to take care of that they just don't want to maintain all of that space and take care of that much home any longer and keep it clean. I mean, just weekly cleaning something that you're not using can be a frustration point, and certainly at a time when perhaps they'd rather be out doing something else. So maybe they have to move financially. That one can be a little tricky because that pain can really be painful and they don't really want to move, but they're having to move. And that can cause all kinds of other sorts of issues to come up. So you're going to need to really take your time with this one. Explore that with them. If they are downsizing, but they seem really reluctant, this is probably the reason why. So go through, let's talk about your taxes. Let's talk about the insurance on this home. Let's talk about the maintenance and upkeep. And what is that costing you? Because if you spend that time talking to them and really understanding it, they will open up to you and they'll share with you what those pain points are. Maybe it's an unfortunate situation in that there's too many memories in that home. So they're having to leave because of that. It's just too painful to be there. Be delicate with this situation, but you're not going to be able to help them unless you can really get to enough of that. Not that you need to be their therapist, but enough of that pain to really understand what's causing that. A happier focus after you understand the pain points is to turn things around and find out what the dream is. So by making this move, what is going to change in your life? What are you going to be able to do with the time or the money or the lack of maintenance that you don't get to do now? Really spend the time focusing on what they gain, because that's the reason. That's going to be their primary motivator for moving. And because they don't have to make the move, when they get stuck by fear, that's the part that you're going to have to go back and revisit. So spend the time understanding what that dream is. Is it the ability to travel? Is it lowering those expenses so they can do other things? Is it having the time to spend with those grandkids? Does it move them closer to friends and family? Maybe they're trying to move closer to the kids, maybe to the grandkids. What is that going to allow them to do? By thoroughly understanding that motivation, when they get stuck, that's when you're really going to be able to help them, because moving is scary. Change is hard, and we need to understand that. Objections, of course, like any other buyer, are predictable. They're your signpost, and they simply mean that that buyer has unanswered questions. So become a resource for them. Help them to understand how to downsize, how to part with that dining room table they haven't used since 1994. And really, do they need those things in their life? Perhaps an estate sale, or the kids might want some of the things so that those memories can be passed down. But share with them some solutions, particularly if you've worked with other buyers in that scenario. By taking the time up front and spending that extra time, you will be able to create urgency. Now, when this buyer gets stuck, or if you're unable to get them to make a decision today, don't just let them leave and go think about it. Be sure that you're closing for that next appointment, that we have a plan to keep things moving forward by talking to them about the next step is this, and this is the next thing we have to do. And when you keep them moving forward, you are going to get them to the goal that they sought you out to help them with much, much faster. Again, this is Kimberly Mackey. I hope to hear from you and hear more questions and more challenges that you're having. We are happy to help you here at New Home Solutions, and we will see you soon. Thanks again. Have a great day.